Well, hello everyone. We are here to discuss a film that, first off, I didn't really even know if I was going to watch, and by a comical set of circumstances, I ended up going to the theater and seeing this movie, and by even more of a comical circumstance, I ended up loving this movie, and I mean loving it. It is fantastic. It's subversive. It is so incredibly well made, and this movie has no right being this good. And the film I'm going to be talking about today is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is directed by Joel Crawford. Puss in Boots discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burned through 8 of his 9 lives, leaving him with only 1 life left. Puss sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical last wish and restore his 9 lives. So, I'm a big fan of the Shrek movies. I always have been. I think they're really entertaining, they're fun, they're silly, but they combine adult humor in a way that works, that kids can process it. Some of it might be a little over their heads, but it's entertaining for adults and kids alike. And I saw the original Puss in Boots film when it was released in the theater. I cannot say I remember a single thing about it. I don't think it was that great, if I remember correctly, but I've always really appreciated Antonio Banderas' vocal performance for that role. I think he's charming and funny and silly and just everything you could want in a children's animated character, and I did not expect this movie to be so grounded in a way that it's like discussing the subject matter of coping with your own death in a way that's handled really well that I think kids are able to process. So obviously, Puss in Boots, huge adventurer, everyone loves him, he's very egotistical, he thinks he's untouchable, and he ends up dying at the beginning of the movie, and he wakes up in a doctor's office. The doctor tells him, hey, 8 of your 9 lives are gone. He's confronted by Death himself, and Death tells him, hey, I don't want to wait for your 9th life, I'm going to kill you right now. And so the two of them fight. Puss almost loses his life, and it causes him to reconsider everything. He ends up going to this house where this woman owns hundreds of cats. They're everywhere, and he ends up just kind of getting rid of his boots and his outfit, and he becomes Pickles the cat, and he befriends a young dog with no other name other than the name Perrito, and he is played by Harvey Guillén from What We Do in the Shadows, one of my favorite actors right now. Absolutely hilarious. They are infiltrated by Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Goldilocks played by Florence Pugh. Olivia Colman is the mother bear. So many hard-hitting actors in this movie, it surprised me. And so they start to chase down Puss because they want to take him for his bounty. All the same time being chased by Death, and then you're introduced to Jack Horner, played by John Mulaney, who is after this wishing star. And so all of them end up in pursuit of this wishing star. Puss in Boots runs into Kitty Softpaws, played by Salma Hayek, and so you have all of these characters going after this wishing star because every single one of them wants to make a wish. And this movie is just downright fantastic. First off, I just want to say the animation style in this starts off very traditional, and then it flips stylistically throughout the film into so many incredible, unique-looking animations that just really took me by surprise. And some of it reminded me of like Into the Spider-Verse level of like just beautiful animation that just every single frame was so gorgeous to look at. This movie has great vocal performances from every actor. So many incredible moments that were really like adult humor that I'm imagining went over a ton of kids' heads, but had me rolling laughing. There's like a subtle nod to Jimmy Stewart in this movie that had me like rolling on the floor louder than anyone else in the theater was laughing. And it really does have a lot of beautiful moments that I feel like kids and adults alike can resonate with. Like I said, you have Puss's character who is who's struggling with the idea of his death and his relationship with Kitty Softpaws and how he doesn't really know how to appreciate life in this moment. You have the dog character who was abandoned when he was really young and is very optimistic and excited about everything and seems to just not let the weight of the world get him down and is always looking for the next adventure and just caring about what's in that moment. And then you have Goldilocks' character who obviously loses her parents. She's living with the 3 bears and she doesn't feel like her family dynamic is normal. And so you have all of these really incredible dynamics that are written that none of them feel like they're glazed over. Each one feels like there's plenty of time taken to flesh out each person's thought process, ideas, and ways that they feel about situations. And I was so respectful that the filmmaker was able to cover all of those things in a way that really didn't feel like it was being rushed. And I was really satisfied with the closure of this film. I felt like they did a really nice job tying it up. I think each character got great closure. And I feel like this is an animated film that I could see myself revisiting over and over and over again. It's just so entertaining and fun. And I never would have expected a movie like this to be this good, but it really is one of the best animated films I watched of all last year. I feel like this is way more entertaining than anything Disney has put out in a couple of years. I mean, it's just always impressive when an animation studio, even someone like DreamWorks, who has made great films over the years, comes out with something like this so late in a franchise that really is just so good. And I think that if you're looking for a fun time or an animated movie, something a little lighthearted that still has those dramatic undertones, I think Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is something you're really going to enjoy. So have you seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was an absolute blast. I loved every second of this, and I could see myself revisiting it multiple times. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.